Hey everyone, it's Alexa with Grace and Cherish. It's a new day. I'm out in the garden because I am right now laying 2 of our cut flower garden beds. We actually have 4 specifically in our garden. We are planting flowers in other parts of our property, but I wanted to have cut flowers and experiment and try to grow those because I've never grown flowers before, but I think they add so much beauty and there's a lot of opportunity to be able to use them to serve other people and things like that. So I was really convinced that it was something we had to do. So that's what I'm doing here today. I'm trying to get these beds. There's a bee right behind me. We're good. But I'm trying to get these beds ready because it's actually supposed to start raining tomorrow. And so I thought, man, this will be great if I can get them down and at least just have the beds ready, even if I don't sow into them today. What I do want to sow today, though, continuing my progress I made over the weekend, which is I want to sow our pumpkins, pumpkins and corn, and then I also want to sow our beans. I'm like, if I can get those 3 things, that would be phenomenal. I did get to do some sowing over the weekend, so I'll share about that a little bit later, but I finally got the carrots in. But some other things that happened this weekend that I'm really thankful for and are kind of propelling me with this whole vision for Philo is this week on Saturday, we were able to host a fishing event. And I've shared before in other videos about Philo and why we bought it and how Philo is short for philoxenos, which means hospitality. It's the Greek word used for hospitality in the Bible, and it means love of stranger or love to stranger. And that's why we bought our property. It was with that's the vision, the mission, the hope. We wanted to have a place where people could connect more deeply with God, with themselves, and with others. And so it's been such a blessing, like, to live here and to be able to do things big and small with people, with just our family, all of that. But this weekend we were able to do event number 4 in our 12 events in 12 months, which was again just a push to make sure that we are intentionally using this property for other people. We do a lot of different things, but I wanted to be very creative in saying, what are these unique ways that we can use this to serve others? And so Saturday, we got to host a group here, and we had a fishing event. So it was supposed to be fishing and a seed swap, but everyone just came to fish, which is totally fine. So we had people come that had never fished before, never. And it was so wonderful to be like, come, do it here. And we had other people who just don't have access to go fishing. Like, they don't have a pond on their property, or they don't have a pond necessarily nearby. And so that was beautiful. But then we had another family, a dad and his sons came, and they do live near a pond and are able to fish. And actually, he was from Louisiana, New Orleans, and he was like, oh yeah, where I'm from, they really fish. Like, they fish down there. So it was really beautiful that people from all different experiences and to be able to come together and fish and just hang out. It was real low key. We had food, we hung out. Some of the kids ended up just playing baseball in our field for a while. It was great. It was really simple, but it was, again, allowing us to use this place in a way that just offers joy and excitement to people. And I was really thankful to be able to host it. And it made me all the more convinced at how wonderful it will be when our garden is there's just food growing, and we're able to take the food from here and use it for the event. Obviously, we don't have any food growing here yet, and since this is our first year on this large scale and I've never canned or anything, I don't have any food that we've grown to offer. All right, I had to pause because it started to get really windy, and I actually lost an entire video of footage from the weekend because I didn't realize how windy it was, and you could barely hear what I was saying. And I don't have a wind blocker on my mic, so did not want to do that again. But anyway, long story short, I'm really looking forward to being able to take food from here and use it for our events, and being able to just offer the bounty from here to other people. Or even if it's not a bounty, because who knows? Who knows how good it'll go. But even if it's not, offering whatever it is we have to be able to serve others and let them partake in it too. I was so excited having everyone there, and we had our table set up of food, and I'm like, man, this would be so nice if I could just pull from the garden. But in time that will come. I'm just thankful that we could live into the purpose and the mission of Philo and why we bought this property in the first place, because it's about so much more than just us being able to escape or us having our own little metropolis, which it is. This place is so peaceful, and it's a blessing to be in, but it is so much richer when we get to share it with each other, like in my family, but also when we get to share with others. There is such a richness and a beauty when you bring community in and share together. So April event has happened, and we do other smaller things and stuff like that, but I'm excited throughout the month. But in May, I'm planning another one that's more mothers themed. It's the day before Mother's Day. So I have a group of people I've reached out to for that, to kind of just host come, I'll have food for you, just come relax and be. You can my husband will be gone with the kids, and then I'll have the whole house set up, and then of course all the property for people to just come and roam. And I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to that. But before we get there, I need to work here. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish laying down this garden bed, and then I'm gonna start planting that corn and pumpkins. Oh, really excited for that stuff. So let's get to it. Okay, I got 2 beds done. Took way longer than I anticipated, but next we have the pumpkins, and I think I have, overalls are so nifty. I also have our corn. So I'm gonna move over to that bed and do that next. But first, let's actually make a pit stop at the carrots that were planted. All right, we're at the carrots now. One of the things that I did this time around when I planted carrots that I did not do back in the fall was I laid down a piece of cardboard over the seeds after I planted them, so that will help retain moisture. It is very important to not let carrots dry out in the germination process. So what I did, planted the seeds, we watered, then I put this cardboard on top of them. They're actually gonna water again, but this time I won't have to hand water, because now that we have the drip irrigation in, I'm gonna go ahead and just use that. So we have purple carrots, and then we have the carrot scarlet, I don't know how you pronounce it, I'm not sure how you say it, but that is how, those are the 2 we have. Unfortunately, when I opened up my packet of seeds of the purple carrot, it said that there were 300 seeds in there, but when I opened it, there definitely were not 300 seeds. So I wasn't able to plant as many of them as I was hoping. I understand it happens though, so it's not a big deal, but I was hoping to have a bit more. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm just trying to make sure that I get as much germination as possible. I was able to find these cool little stake marker, or garden markers on Amazon. So I've been using these, and I'm going to use them throughout the rest of the garden. But I also planted parsley, and then on the other side over here, I planted some sage. Here's the carrots. I was able to get some arugula in the ground, some spinach. I planted some oregano, lettuce gourmet mix over there, and then I actually also did a kamatsuna. I received some kamatsuna seeds and lettuce gourmet mix seeds as a part of just, a thank you for the other order I made. So the kamatsuna is from Baker Creek, and then the lettuce gourmet mix is from dollarseed.com, where I've gotten a lot of seeds as well. So I actually have like 4 of the lettuce gourmet mix seeds, because I've placed different orders and they've always thrown in. So I was like, I need to plant one of these to get an idea of the mix. So really the fall is when I want to try out these even more so, because cool weather crops, all of that. But I figured, why not try it out now, because I had extra space. When I originally planned to do my carrots, I was going to put them in my 4x16 raised garden bed, but I decided that I wanted to put them in ground, so I switched them to our 4x20 in ground bed, and then I'm moving the flowers that I was gonna put in this bed into the 4x16. So did a little rearranging, gave me some more space, and that's why I decided I'm gonna try to plant some of these extra things and see what comes. I do wanna add nasturtiums in here, but then that's about it. And I actually have a question. I would love some advice. I'm gonna put this camera back. Okay, one question really quick, because my husband and I got in a debate. He was thinking, I was thinking, I should say, we have 2 grape plants, and I was thinking we should grow them right here on this first arch. This is the arch that kind of you enter in when you enter into our garden. And I thought, at first we were gonna do a vining flower, something that would just be really pretty, provide some greenery, and when it blooms, the flowers, all that, great. But then I thought, wait, if we have grapevines, what if we use this for that instead, and have that be what climbs the arch trellis? Brandon doesn't think that there's enough space for us to do that. He thinks that they're too short. These are 50-inch wide by 16 feet, but obviously it's arch, so there's, you know, you get it. So I'm wondering, what would you do? If you have grown grape plants before, please share in the comments what you would do, or if you've grown on something like this, or is there something else that you think would be better? Because I do want to create an environment that is best for the plant to grow and be vigorous and thrive, all of that. But I was thinking this really would be fine. But anyway, since I've never grown them before, I figured I would at least ask. Of course, I'll do some more of my own research, but I like hearing from all of you and just the different experiences you have had. So let me know, do you think that a grapevine doing one plant per side would work here for considering how much space grapes need to grow? There we go, that's my question. But now let's go to the back where I'm gonna be planting the corn and the pumpkins. All right, I did it. I got the corn in. The variety that I used is this one right here. Let me see if that shows up. Okay, so it's bodacious corn. It's actually just, it's a sweet corn variety. So what I did, this was to help me measure out and do my spacing, but I ended up actually only having enough seeds for this area right here. You want to plant your corn in blocks. As I am learning about how it is that they pollinate, they are wind pollinated. Having them in blocks helps to make all that happen. There's someone else who's gonna be able to describe that much better than me, so I won't waste your time with it. But it is important to plant them in blocks. I did about 5 to 6 inches apart, and this side is fine, but I didn't have enough seeds. I had about 33 seeds in this packet. That's not enough for me to do the other side. So I'm gonna get new seeds, but because I might not get the exact same variety, I'm going to delay planting those for about 2 to 3 weeks so that there isn't cross-pollination. Though that would kind of be a fun experiment, but for this year, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and just wait a few weeks. So I'll order my seeds, wait a few weeks, plant those new corn seeds later towards I guess the end of April. And I'm still going to plant my pumpkins. So before I go inside, I'm actually gonna take care of getting the pumpkins in. I'm only planting 4, and I really just wanted to maximize companion planting, doing pumpkins and the corn. One day I might actually do the full-on 3 sisters and do a squash, a pumpkin, or a squash, corn, and a bean. But for this year, I'm just doing 2. And I'm thinking that I'll go in the corners with them, or actually probably a little bit more towards the middle, because I know that they vine rather vigorously. At least that's what I've been told. My watermelon, I only planted 4 last year. Those babies vined everywhere. They were everywhere. It's wild. So one day we'll have a nice big patch for them to just go buck wild, but for now I don't. So I'm trying to be a little more conservative, only do a few watermelons, few pumpkins, and in the future expand from there. But I really just want to get good at it. I do love some pumpkins, especially in the fall. I love them. I love pumpkins, football. It's just a great time. The leaves are changing. It's wonderful. But we're not there yet. We are here in the spring, preparing, planting, getting ready for those other seasons, yes, but I'm living fully in the moment. I'm just excited to get things in the ground. I didn't get to my beans today like I wanted, but we did get the 2 flower beds, which is excellent. Got that taken care of. I can move forward with setting up the low tunnel for that, because one of the beds will have a low tunnel with some jute trellis netting so it can hold the cut flowers that I build. It'll help so that in the wind and the rain, they don't just topple over, but they have some support. So I still have that to do on there, but I'm just glad the beds are laid. I feel like that's the hardest part for me, because it takes me a lot longer to fill a wheelbarrow than my husband, who does it like that. But anyway, the arch trellises we have over here. Gonna do the beans sometime later this week. It's supposed to rain a little bit, so whenever I can get out there. The grapevines, if you do know anything about grapevines, please let me know. I would love to learn from you and just figure out, we might just try it and see what happens, but I would love any wisdom y'all have to share. And after that, I'm gonna get these pumpkin seeds in the ground and then go in and have dinner. It has been a good day. I'm thankful to have gardened with you today. Thanks for hanging out with me, planting with me. I'd love to hear how you're doing, what's going on in your garden right now. So please feel free to share in the comments. And as always, remember, you are a person of great significance, especially with my daughter having just been baptized on Sunday and getting to reflect. One of the things that is so important to me, and I said it also when my son was baptized the year before, it's something that they choose to do. We don't baptize as infants, though, not making any commentary on that or judgment on that. Just for us, it is something that the individual chooses at whatever age for them. So our son chose to last year, and just, yeah, it was beautiful. And then my daughter this year wanting to do it on her own volition, which was something that was really beautiful to watch. And she's very young, and it's just really neat to see the ways that she is such an encouragement in faith and teaches me a lot. But the reason I'm bringing all of that up is because one of the verses that sticks out to me within, and I shared it when my son was baptized, and we shared it again when our daughter was in John 13, and it talks about Jesus, and it says that, and Jesus, knowing where he came from and to whom he was going, got up, and it's when he takes a towel and he washes the feet of his disciples. And as we know in that passage, or if you don't know, in that passage, he actually then says to the disciples to go and do the same. And it is this act of service, this act of humble service and love. And that's true leadership. That is true care. That is how we, for those people, I am one, but for all of you too who believe like Jesus is Lord and Savior, and you want to follow his ways, and you consider yourself like a disciple of him, that is what we are called to, the kind of life we are called to. And I thought of that, and was reflecting on that a bit when my daughter got baptized, and we were sharing in front of the church and just saying, that this is my prayer. This is my prayer for her, that she knows who she came from, God, our maker, our creator, the one who's gonna make the stuff grow or not, but like it's all in his hands, right? The one who made me, who made you. And I pray that she knows her identity so securely in God, not in everything else, not in what she does, not in what she does or doesn't do, says or doesn't say, whatever, accolades, no accolades, but rather in the reality of being made in the image of God, made by God. That is her maker. How amazing, right? And again, we're gardeners. We love this act of creation and participating, whether it's on big scale or small. And the thing that I love is that it says that it was knowing where he came from and to whom he was going, which, praise the Lord, we have that hope, right? To whom he was going. Like, that's just so beautiful and rich, right? And to know that, and then from there he goes and serves, and he does the thing that seems, that would have back then and now, let's keep it real, is seen as less than. It is not like how many of us are like, let me wash your feet today. Like that's not always the posture. And of course, it's not only the act, though the act itself is important, but it is what that act symbolizes, this willingness to get low, right? This willingness to be humble, this willingness to do the thing that maybe not everybody else wants to do, but do it to the glory of God. And not because we're even trying to impress other people or whatever, but it's because we know who we come from. We know to where we are going. When you believe in Jesus, you have that security. You have that. And it's just, that was my prayer for her. And I'm sharing it now, I guess, because it's fresh on my mind, but it's such an encouragement, especially if you're a people pleaser, like I can be, or there's always this, I like to be unique and special. That is one of my faults in my personality. I like to do everything unique, and there's not much unique in this world, which is fine. Anyway, but what is really neat is that I am uniquely made in God's image. He only made one of me, and that is something that's really joyous and something that I can hold fast to and know that is the truth, and that it's not so much even about me, but about God, and that he made me uniquely for his glory. And when we trust in that, when we believe in that, we can go and we can do wonderful things for people and love them. And it doesn't mean they have to be huge things. Growing a garden is a huge thing, to just grow food and serve others and delight in the Lord in the process. That's a beautiful, worthy thing. And some of us might go invent something crazy, awesome. That's great too. I'm grateful for electricity. That's great. Or medical advances. Like those things are awesome too, but you don't, whatever it is, whatever God calls you to, it's the way that we can do it is not by our own gumption. It's not by us pulling ourselves up. It's really through trusting in the one who has created us, in the one who sent his son to die for us. That is how we can do anything. That's how we can grow and get up again and believe and have hope. And our world needs hope. We need hope. Our society does, our families do, our schools do, our everything around us, we do. All of it. Our workplaces, and so our YouTube channels. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but it's just something I'm so grateful that the hope that we have is real. It's very real. Even in times though it has felt like it's been so far apart, God has always had that glimmer in life. And so I don't know where you're at in your life right now, but I'm going to think that one was for you. And I wasn't planning on saying all of that, but I do really hope that if you're in a place where you don't have hope, that message can be an encouragement to you. And if you don't know who Jesus is, I pray that the Lord will bring someone to even like mention his name and like share a bit about him to you. And God does crazy things like that. Like he could totally, so if you're hearing this and you're like, I'm not so sure about this God thing, but then something else comes up, I just want to say, I wouldn't think that's an accident. But anyway, I really have gone too long now. Okay, bless y'all. Talk to you next time. Happy gardening. I can't wait to garden again with you soon. Bless you.